Oh my god. Have you ever done anything so stupid you instantly regretted it? That's pretty much how I feel about watching Marvel's What If. Because I feel like I have better things to do with my time. Oh wait! I'm supposed to be shilling for this, aren't I? Oh! Marvel is fantastic and What If is great! It's not. Welcome back, Pixel Nation Comics Division here. How the hell are you? Oh my god, it's been a while since I've actually done a video where I talked in it. Unfortunately, dearly departed, we're gathered here today to talk about episode 2 of Marvel's What If. What if they actually had talent and made entertaining TV shows, which this is not. Oh, I'm sorry, it's what if Star-Lord's T'Challa or T'Challa's Star-Lord or something like that? I honestly don't care. This episode begins like a cheap knockoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. But instead of getting Peter Quill as the Star-Lord, we have T'Challa as Star-Lord. For reasons and stuff. I'm pretty sure this is not how What If works. Now, the original idea of What If is actually kind of interesting. It would go and take an event, like what happened if Ben Parker didn't die, and then we would go and explore the ramifications of that event. A really good example actually comes from DC. What if Superman landed in Soviet Russia rather than the United States? But what we're getting here is nothing more than a lazy switcheroo. What if Yondu put his men in charge of finding Star-Lord rather than going and doing it himself, and they end up with T'Challa instead by accident? Now, how they confuse Wakanda with the United States is anybody's guess. But fuck it! Whatever, let's roll with it. So we get a very similar introductory scene, complete with Korath, but rather than getting this...
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord. Who?
We get Korath gushing all over T'Challa, basically sucking his dick for the next 5 minutes in the scene because he's so amazing. Oh. It's actually kind of annoying. I don't know who wrote this story, but it's really fucking retarded. The very act of replacing Peter Quill with T'Challa, well, they basically made him Space Jesus, going around and quite literally solved all the problems in the universe, including the whole Thanos thing. I think they realized that if they took T'Challa out of the equation, that Thanos would basically win. And so they had to fix that. So T'Challa sat down and had a conversation with Thanos and turned him good. And as you can see by the still, T'Challa brought Korath along too. Probably because he could suck a mean dick. Anyway, no universe-spanning genocide. Like in the MCU. How boring. Oh my god. This is so stupid. Meanwhile, back on Earth, all the Avengers are at home picking their nose because, well, there's nothing going on. Okay, I made that last part up, but you know it's probably happening. Now, back on the whole T'Challa thing being Space Jesus, I'm not joking about that, folks. This is all in the episode. He basically solved all the galaxy's problems. Yay. As is, I found T'Challa to be rather boring in the Black Panther movie, and they managed to find a way of topping themselves by making the character that much more bland. Good job, Marvel. I feel bad for Chadwick Boseman, this being probably one of his last works. May he rest in peace. So for the next 20 years, Yondu basically raises little T'Challa into the next Star-Lord. But the thing is, T'Challa is basically T'Challa from the movies. He's free of Yondu's corruption for some reason, which is completely stupid. You're basically telling me that over the last 20 years, he remained free of any bad influences. I call complete horseshit on that. So sexy Nebula shows up and hires Robin Hood and his band of merry men. I mean Star-Lord and his Ravagers. Now I do have to say the Robin Hood concept actually does kind of work to a degree if they actually made T'Challa more roguelike, which they didn't, so it comes off more as a goody-goody more than anything else. And that, honestly, it doesn't work. Nebula hires them to go after the Embers of Genesis, which is being held by the Collector on Nowhere. Anyway, T'Challa goes and devises a Ocean's 11 style plot to go and break into Nowhere and snatch the Embers, complete with Ocean 11 style montage and narration. Now, while looking for the embers, T'Challa happens to stumble onto a Wakandan spaceship because, well, the king has been looking for his son this entire time. Apparently, Yondu told him that, well, Wakanda was destroyed, which didn't make any sense because at the beginning of the show, T'Challa wanted to go with Yondu to go and explore. So why would he lie to T'Challa? That makes no sense. I mean, it's like they basically invented an arbitrary reason to get him back to Earth so he can become the Black Panther. Because that's what they did. Anyway, Nebula appears to have betrayed the group. They all get captured and Yondu and T'Challa have it out because Yondu lied to him about the destruction of Wakanda. Anyway, Nebula's betrayal was all part of the plan and they escape and finally have the showdown with the Collector, who is jacked as fuck for some reason. Ultimately, it takes the combined forces between T'Challa and Yondu to go and take the Collector down. And quite frankly, I was kind of surprised by this because they basically made him Space Jesus throughout the entire show. Anyway, T'Challa decides to go back to Earth, reunites with his family, and that's basically the end of the episode. Oh, and we see what happens to poor Peter Quill, who is working at a Dairy Queen because, you know, he's a fucking loser. I mean, come on, really? You think that maybe he could have been some sort of big shot CEO if he stayed on Earth? But no, he's a fucking janitor at a goddamn Dairy Queen. Yeah, because Peter Quill is such a piece of shit. The end. That's the end of the episode. You don't have to worry about wasting your time going and watch it now. Yay. Now, was there anything that I actually liked about the episode? I mean, the fight scene at the end was okay. They had some pretty funny jokes about Thanos and genocide. I forgot to mention he's also part of the crew. I have to say, they actually had Howard the Duck in it, and it was more than just like a one line in a box. That was actually kind of cool. But other than that, if I hadn't seen the episode, I wouldn't be missing it. I'm pretty sure by the time I wake up tomorrow, I've completely forgotten what happened. Now, compared to the first episode, which I'm probably gonna have to do a review now, I don't find it as egregious, just more annoying than anything else because I don't like this idea of going and swapping out a character, and the new one does everything better than the previous one. Because that's what we got here, is that T'Challa is a much better Star-Lord than Star-Lord. Now, naturally, there's always gonna be some idiot who stumbles on this video and is gonna go, well, you just hate black people, you racist. No, honestly, I would be just as annoyed if they made Bucky Black Panther and made him better than T'Challa. But we all know that Disney would never fucking do that. I wonder why. Anyway, if you're looking for an excuse to go and kill brain cells, yeah, sure, go watch the episode. But quite frankly, it's not worth your time. Now, if I have to give it a letter grade, and I kind of feel like I do, I'm gonna give it a D-. This episode, it's not completely atrocious, but it kind of is at the same time, mainly because it shits on its predecessor. And at the end of the day, I felt it to be kind of fucking pointless. It's still kind of lazy, but nowhere near as lazy as episode 1. Now, if I was presented with the option of watching this episode or doing my taxes, I think I'd rather do my taxes because it's less boring and tedious and stupid. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got on this one. Now, I have to go and redo my outro, so I'm doing something a little bit different here. Mainly because I have a few more Subscribe Star supporters that I need to add to the list, so I'll be doing that one for the next video. So in the meantime, bye!